Today, something else that was on the go was the trial of Oscar Pistorius. It continues today. State Advocate Gerrie Nel will once again cross-examine Pistorius' longtime manager, Peet van Zyl. Nel had asked the North Gauteng High Court for an early adjournment yesterday to prepare for questioning. But let's speak to Chriselda Lewis now. She's our journalist outside the court. Chriselda, a very good morning to you. Some developments overnight, I understand. You're going to talk to us about what's happening today, but perhaps you could begin by telling us about one of Oscar Pistorius' teammates telling us some information. What came out of that press release?
Well, a very good morning to you there, Ayanda. Well, overnight developments here is that Oscar Pistorius' teammate at the London 2012 Games issued a statement on his Twitter account. That is Anu Fourie. Well, Anu Fourie was responding to a lot of the testimony that we heard inside court yesterday, where Gerrie Nel was asking Peet van Zyl about an incident that is alleged to have happened at the London 2012 Games, where Anu Fourie had asked to be removed from the room that he was sharing with Oscar Pistorius. So the insinuation at the time was that perhaps there might have been some fight, and that also the allegations were that Oscar Pistorius was often fighting with people on the telephone and screaming at people. So Anu Fourie on that statement on Twitter yesterday saying that he had contacted his medical manager and basically had asked to be removed from the room because he wanted to prepare for the London Games, which he felt, I quote, were the most important race of his life, unquote. He said that he wanted to be removed from there. So ending all speculation, of course, that his removal or wanting to be removed from the room that he was sharing with Oscar Pistorius had anything to do with a fight or perhaps alleged a raucous behavior from Oscar Pistorius. So this is certainly the first time that we're hearing from one of Oscar Pistorius' teammates, and we'll see what kind of impact that has inside court today when Gerrie Nel continues his cross-examination of Peet van Zyl, who is the long-time manager of Oscar Pistorius.
Yeah, Chriselda, I was going to ask you whether or not that will make any impact or if it will feature even, because it's nothing official. But I'm glad you covered that it will have to adopt a wait-and-see policy with regard to that, really. But what do we expect today?
Well, Ayanda, we're expecting the cross-examination of Peet van Zyl to continue. Well, certainly yesterday he had absolutely no negative words to say about Oscar Pistorius, to such an extent that the estate had accused him of being sympathetic towards the athlete. All that Peet van Zyl could tell us was that he knows Oscar Pistorius to be a loving and caring man, and that he doesn't think that Oscar Pistorius would hurt anybody, wouldn't hurt a woman. Of course, this flies in the face of previous testimony that we've seen from state witnesses, including Oscar Pistorius' ex-girlfriend Samantha Taylor, who painted a totally different picture inside court, but by insinuating that Oscar Pistorius was abusive and that he often shouted at people. But Peet van Zyl says certainly this isn't the case. While Peet van Zyl's relationship with Oscar Pistorius stems a decade now. He met him, he says, in 2004 and has gone on to manage brand Pistorius, as I would put it. But certainly he has had nothing negative to say about Oscar Pistorius. But certainly we will see today as Gerrie Nel pokes holes into that statement. We've seen SMSs before exchanged between Oscar Pistorius and Riva Steenkamp that have been inside this court, which certainly painted a picture of a fractured relationship. But Peet van Zyl says no, that is not the case. But certainly let's see what happens in cross-examination a bit later on this morning.
Thank you so much, Chriselda. We'll catch up with you a little bit later. I think in our 8 o'clock bulletin, we'll cross to you again just to get a sense and a feel of what's happening on the ground at that particular time. And that's how I wrap up my 7 o'clock news update, 11 minutes after